So last time we had this standard normal distribution. So standard normal distribution is a distribution having mean 0 and variance 1. Okay, and then any normal distribution can be converted into standard normal distribution. Okay, so that is if X is a normal distribution having mean mu and variance sigma square, then this can be converted into normal distribution Z having mean 0 and 1 by the relation Z is equal to X minus mu upon sigma. Okay. So this we know, and therefore probability of distribution X lying between two numbers can be obtained in terms of probability of Z lying between two numbers, because X and Z are related now. Okay. Now Z is standard normal distribution and X is normal distribution having mu and sigma square. So this is one definition we will use here, and in most of the book it is used. Cumulative actually distribution function, CDF of standard normal distribution. Okay, this is CDF of standard normal distribution. Now, once we say CDF, for example, we know that this distribution graphically look like it goes like this. So CDF means this will start from minus infinity. So, for example, if we want to find the value at this point, for example, Z1, I Z1. So this will give you the area, this area from minus infinity to Z1. If you want to find value 5Z2, then this 5Z2 will be area from minus infinity to Z2. Okay, so this is a cumulative distribution function. This is obtained by integrating the density function. So 5, 0 is equal to 0.5 because the curve is symmetric. Okay, and the mean is 0 because it is standard normal distribution, and therefore we can see that both sides have the same area, that is 0.5, 0.5. Okay, so this is there, and similarly this capital phi minus infinity will be equal to 0, and capital phi plus infinity will be equal to 1 because this is total area under the normal curve. So these are some properties of this function, cumulative distribution function. So this graph shows that in any point of X, this Ix will be this area, shaded area or blue area, you can see. So that is area from minus infinity to X. So probability calculation. Okay, this we know that we have just seen that if X is normal distribution and if you take Z is equal to this, then Z becomes standard normal distribution with mean 0 and standard deviation 1. So what is our problem? Basically, our problem is to find this. That is probability of random variable x lying between a and b. So then we can do algebraic manipulation inside the bracket. So what we do actually, we subtract first mu in all the components and then divide by standard deviation. Okay. So we get this. Now this middle term becomes Z, capital Z in this. Now this is problem here. It's just correction here. This is not actually A, but it is B, and this is actually equal to A. So if you take this A minus mu upon sigma is equal to Z1, A minus mu upon sigma Z1, and Z2 is equal to say B minus mu upon sigma, then what is this probability is actually equal to this is P Z lying between Z1 and Z2. Okay, so this is actually area under the standard normal curve, under the normal curve from Z1 to Z2. Okay, and therefore so suppose that Z1 is here and say Z2 is here. So what our job is or our problem is actually to find this area, okay, which lies between Z1 and Z2. So for that what we can do, we can find this area that is minus infinity to Z2 and then subtract this area that is minus infinity to Z1. So minus infinity to Z2 is actually phi Z2 and minus infinity to Z1 is actually phi Z1. So this is actually the right will come first here. Phi of this B minus mu upon sigma, then minus phi of A minus mu upon sigma.
So it is something related to hypothesis testing. Also, we do the similar problem only, right? Or it is different something.
In hypothesis test, actually we find the value of test statistic and just see whether it is outside the accepted region or not. For example, if this is the accepted region, suppose Z1, Z2, this is accepted region, if my value of statistics is here or it is here, then we say that it is rejected, like that.
Okay, okay. But something related only, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So this is original in terms of x actually, and then we converted this x into standard normal curve. So here we wanted a probability that capital X lies between A and B. That become probability of Z lying between A minus mu upon sigma and B minus mu upon sigma. Okay. So this is just a geometrical representation of the things what we have seen here. All right. So I think this is again the same thing. Summary. Px is equal to phi A minus B. This is again, this is a mistake is going on. This is B. This is A. So keep this thing in mind that the right side element will come first and then left will come. So for example, if X is a normal distribution having mean 3 and variance 4, okay, this is sigma x square, keep in mind. Okay, our structure is n mu sigma square. Okay, but Z is n 0 1. So mu is 3 and variance is 4. And if we want Px less than or equal to 6, okay, so Px less than or equal to 6 means it is just like this. So somewhere 6 will be here. Okay, so we want to find this area. Okay, and what we do then, we find the Z value corresponding to 6, and then so Z value corresponding to 6 is this one. 6 minus mean, that is 3, upon sigma, that is 2. So this is Z value corresponding to, see, this is 6 is equivalent to 1.5 in standard normal distribution. So this is 5 minus this, and this value is 0, we know that. And therefore, and this we can find from the normal table. Okay, so I hope otherwise I can show. I think this normal table will be here.
Yeah, sir, I think better to show once.
Yeah.
Because nobody has seen it, I think.
Yes. So this value, okay, let me increase from
Minus 1.5. Sorry, 1.5. 1 plus
1.5. We want 5.
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we do actually, we take our number up to 2 places of decimal, right? Okay. So if it is if our number is say up to 3 or 4, then what we have to do? We have to round off up to 2 places of decimal. Now, for example, here if a 1.50 is there, you just see this column, first column under this, under X. I think it is visible because these are very small numbers.
Yes,
Size
sir,
of the number.
visible. थोड़ा effort लगाएंगे तो दिख जाता है.
Let me see if I can. Okay, so this much only. So 1.5 you can search here. These are all negative numbers, and then positive come. This is creating problem. So 1.5 you can see that it is here. Okay, so 1.5 is here, and then you just see the number below the second column, which is 0.00, because our number is 1.50. Okay, so 1.50, the number below 1.50 and 0.00 is number 0.9332. Okay, so this is the number. Similarly, if you want sometimes a number like say 1.69, then what you have to do, you break this into parts actually, or split rather, 1.6 and then 0.09. So this you have to see this number, search number 1.6 in the leftmost column, okay, or rather first column, and then 0.09. So here you can see that in the first row we have 0.00, then 0.01, then 0.02. So this goes up to 0.09. So this 0.09, you see the last column. Sorry, yes, last column. Okay, and then so this is your 1.6 is your row, and 0.09 is your column. So take the intersection element here. For example, 1.6 is here and 0.09 is here. So this 1.6 goes horizontally and this comes vertically. So here you will find this number, which is 0.9545. Okay. So in this way, you can search the value corresponding to number in a normal table. All right. So our number is 0.9332. Let us see there whether it is there or not. This one, 0.9332 minus 0. All right. Now similarly, again here you can see that this is 1.2 and minus 0.5. So as I said, we have to write these numbers up to 2 places of decimal. So 1.2 can be written as 1.20. You can split this into 2 parts, 1.2 and 0.00. So this is leftmost column, and then this is second column 0.00. So this is 1.2 row, and then first 0.0. So this element, in this way you can find the value. Again, this is minus 0.5. All right. So again, up to 2 places, minus 0.5. So what we can do, this 0.5. This is one part, and the second part will be 0.00. So in this way, you can search the value in the normal table. Clear? If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Yeah, and sir, if any question comes of this type, then this normal table will obviously be provided in the exam, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are just geometry. So let us see some examples. So X is a normal random variable, mu is 3, variance is 16. We have to find these probabilities. So for example, first one, Px less than 11. Okay. So what we do, we find the Z value corresponding to 11. So this will be P Z less than x minus mu, so that is 11 minus 3 upon sigma. Sigma is 4 here, you can see that. Sigma square is 16, so sigma is 4. So this is equal to P Z less than, this is 8 by 4. Okay. So again, this number 2 is of the form 2.00. You can write this as 2.0 and then 0.00. All right. So just see this number in the row of 2 and column of 0.00. So this is phi 2. And phi 2, you can see that the value is 0.9. 772. All right. So these are simples. X greater than minus 1. Now x greater than minus 1. So geometrically you can see this. So suppose this is minus 1. This is x actually. So x greater than minus 1 means we want this area. All right. So this area is actually 1 minus this area. Okay. 1 minus, this is I can write yellow area like this. Now this yellow area is actually, so you can find value, z value corresponding to minus 1. So this is minus 1 minus 3 upon 4. So that is equal to again minus 1. Okay. So this is z greater than minus 1. Z greater than minus 1. And therefore this is 1 minus. This will be equal to 1 minus 5, 8 minus 1. So minus 1 you can write as minus 1.00, and then this is minus 1.0 and 0.00. All right. So in this way you can find the value in the table. Now this is the area between 2 points. So which are the points? These are z actually now. Minus 0.25 and 1. So this thing. See the table. Okay, you can find the value. Now here I want to tell you one thing. In most of the Indian books, you will find this table. Table is slightly different than the table I have shown here. Okay, so in these books, what they have given values for this value. Okay. So in this second type of tables, you'll find this is 0. This is z. Okay. So these values are given only for positive values. For example, say z, z1, z2, z3, or anything. These values are given only. All right. So let us see this. This is 5 and minus 0.25. What we have? We have. So I should not use pi actually. 1 and minus 0.25. So these values we get. Okay, where in the z table? So 1 is there somewhere. Say, let me write this. Suppose this is my 1, and then you have minus 0.25 somewhere here. So in that case, what is our requirement? Our requirement is to find the area between minus 0.25 and 1. All right. But if this type of table is given to you, then what you have to do, you have to divide this in two parts. This is one part of the area, and the second part will be this part. Okay, but you will not find a value for minus 0.25 in your table. Okay, so what do? You find the value for 0.25. Okay, because the curve is symmetry, and therefore these two area are same. Okay, so area between 0 and 0.25, and area between 0 and minus 0.25, both the area are same. Okay, but this area you can find in the table. So what we do then, this is area between this is equal to area from 0 to 1 plus area from 0 to 0.25. Okay, now these two values you can find from the table. All right, so if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, I think things are not difficult.
Yes, sir, it is pretty straightforward.
Okay. So X has normal distribution, mu is 300, sigma is 50. Find the probability that X assumes a value greater than 362. Okay, so here what we want P X greater than 362. So this is actually equal to P Z greater than 362 minus mu. Mu is 300 upon sigma 50. Okay, so in this way you can find this value, and then so this value is 1.24, and because so we have to find this Pz greater than 1.24, and therefore what we have to do, so this 1.24 is somewhere here, Z is greater than, and therefore you have to find this area. All right, so then you can see that this area will be 1 minus this area, this red area. So in this way you can find, and this value at 1.24 will give you the area between minus infinity and 1.24 on the table. 1.24 you can break this in two parts, or 1.24 will be 1.20 and 0.04. Okay, so under 0.04 and move across or horizontally along 1.2. So whatever the intersection you will get, this will give you the required value, and then subtract it from 1. So this is the original requirement, but then this will be 1 minus this white area. Similarly, this is there given random variable x assumed value 45, 62. So we have already done this type of things. This is between 2 points. Just to read this, a certain type of storage battery lasts on average 3 years with a standard deviation of 0.5 years. Assuming that battery life is normally distributed, find the probability that a given battery will last less than 2.3 years. Okay. So what we want then, if x the random variable is the life of battery, okay, then we want probability of x less than battery will last less than, okay, so less than 2.3 years. So this probability we want, we are given mu is equal to 3 years on average, and standard deviation 0.5 years. So sigma is equal to 0. That's all. Okay. So now we can find this probability very easily. So just find the Z value corresponding to 2.3. And then since x is less than, we have to Z is less than minus 1.4. So area to the left of 1.4. So this is actually x. Now in standard normal, it will be minus somewhere 1.4. Is it 1.4? Yes. So this is standard normal. Sorry, Z. So then an electrical firm manufactures light bulbs that have a life before burnout that is normally distributed with mean equal to 800 hours and a standard deviation of 40 hours. So find the probability that a bulb burns between 778 and 83 hours. Okay. So this is again, you can take random variable x to be life of bulbs in our, okay. So what we want actually our job is to find p x lies between and 3. All right. So you just find the Z values corresponding to 778, 834. So these are minus 0.55, 0.85, and therefore this probability is same as this, and then this will be CDF at 0.85 minus CDF at minus 0.55, because this is CDF. So in this way, we can find the probability. This figure is something different.
Yeah, some challenge in the figure, sir.
Yeah.
Both the corners are shown. Actually, the mid-side area should come.
This is not the correct figure.
Yeah, not the correct figure.
Correct, sir.
Sir, we can do, because already this type of problems we are done now, so it
Okay.
should not be difficult to.
Now, this is one other type of application, the reverse. So what we have done so far, that we have obtained this, that is x lies between A and B. Okay, this we have obtained. So probability we have obtained. Now, if probability is given, okay, if we know the probability, and If you know the probability, therefore, if you know the number means, for example, if I say, you just take this examination system again. Suppose we have say 1,000 students are there, okay, and if you know the probability, that probability of passing an examination is 0.5, okay, then you can calculate the number of the students passing the examination, that is just total number into probability, and that will be equal to 500. Okay, so this we have done actually. Okay, we have the population, we have calculated probability, and therefore we can find the number corresponding to that. Okay, for example, this is 1. So 1,000 is there, P is 0.5. So I can say that this much will satisfy the required condition. This is 1. Now second, just reverse it. Reverse it means this is given to us, this number. That is, we have to pass this number of students. Okay, if we are given that 800 has to be passed out of 1,000, then what will be the probability? Okay, so probability obtained, and then from probability, okay, we can find the because this z is equal to x minus mu upon sigma. So if I know this mu and sigma, okay, then I can find this z value, because if I have probability, I have area. If I have area, the values in the normal tables are nothing but areas. Okay, so probability gives area, and area I can find, and therefore I can find z value. Okay, so now what was happening? I have z value corresponding to area. I was obtaining this. Now I have area, and I will find z value corresponding to that. Okay, so area is given to us or known to us. Okay, with the help of this area, we will find z value, and once z value is obtained, I can find this x. Okay, so this is a reverse type of problem using the normal term. So given a normal distribution mu 40 sigma 6, find the value of x. Okay, that has 40% of the area to the left and 14% of the area to the right. So first case is we have to find x. So this what we have, x is normal distribution 40, 36, because this is 6, and we have to find the value of x. Okay. So suppose this is capital X. So we want to find x such that 40% of the area to the left. So from this given condition, we first decide the position of the x. Okay, position of x means whether it is right of this mean value or left of the mean value, and this we can decide from this condition, 40% of the area to the left. So 40% of the area to the left means X will be somewhere here. Okay, because if you take X here and if you calculate area to the left of X, then it will be more than 50% because this half side is already there. Okay, so since 40% and therefore this value of X will be here, are the first part. Second part, 14% of the area to the right. Now in this case, X will be here, right? So once these positions are decided, okay, so this is my, so let us find Z value corresponding to X. So Z will be X minus mu, mu is 40 and sigma is 6, okay. So what is given to us is that probability of Z less than or equal to, let me call it Z1. Z1 is equal to 0.45 because this area is 45% and that area is actually probability. So this is the equation we get here. So now we have to find the value of Z1 from the normal table. Okay. Now in the reverse problem, what you do, you have to write this probability in 4 digits, up to 4 digits of decimal. Okay, because you can see that these areas are, you can see that all the numbers here are up to 4 digits of decimal. Okay, this number. So because we will search our number in this table, so number has to be up to 4 places of decimal. So that number was 0.4500. So what you have to do, you have to search this number in the table now. Okay, so you can see that it is goes on increasing because this is cumulative distribution table. So 4500. Now one thing you should note that the number that you have, you will not get exactly the same number here. So what you have to do, we have to take that number which is nearest to this number. So for example, 4500 we was so searching. Now you can see that here so there are two numbers, one number here
4522 and 4483. Yeah.
yeah
You can take
so
mean of that.
number 0.4483 in 0.452. So this is actually 17 difference and here 22. So I think we should take this number 0.4488 sorry 0.4483 as the approximation of this. Okay, now what you have to do, so we have taken this 4483. Now corresponding to this, the leftmost column, the number is minus 0.1. And this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4 means a 0.03. This number is under 0.03. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 9 here. And therefore, this number will be minus 0.03. 1 3. So this is Z value actually. So Z1 is equal to 0. Minus 0.13. Okay. So this you can see that this is minus 0. So Z1 is equal to x minus what? Mean. And mean is I think 40.
Yes, sir. Mean is 40.
So mean is 40 and sigma is 6. So this is mean is 40 and this is 6. So this we have obtained minus 0.13 is equal to x minus 40. So from this we can find x that is equal to 39.2. So this is reverse problem. So this example you can see the marks obtained in mathematics by 1000 students are normally distributed with mean 78% and standard deviation 11%. So determine how many students got marks above 90%. What was the highest marks obtained by the lowest 10% of the students? Okay. What was the highest marks obtained by the lowest 10% of the student? And within what limits did the middle of 90% of the student lie? So it's Prakash. So first is how many students got marks above 90%. So this you have to see x greater than or equal to 90. And then you find that value corresponding to 90. So this is 1.09. And since this is greater than or equal to, we want area to the right of this value. And area to the right of this value will be 1 minus area to the left of this value. So this is high 1.09 is actually the value or area in the left of 1.09. So this we can get number of internal marks about 90% is. So total number is 1000 and probability is this one, and therefore approximately we can take 130. Now B. So B says maximum marks obtained by the lowest 10%. So let X be the highest marks obtained by the lowest 10% of the students. Okay. So this is the equation we have. Lowest. And then again we can do the same that we have done so far. So in this way we obtain this Z from where? Because we know the probability here 0.100. Okay, so this probability, so you have to search this number in the normal table. This is area actually. Okay, 1000. You will not get exactly the number 1000 there. So choose the number which is nearest to 1000 and then the number corresponding to that number or z value corresponding to that number will be our z value. So that is actually minus 0.128. So this is z1. So just find the x then. And third is what is third condition? Within what limits did the middle of 90% of the student lie? Within what limits? Now limits means lowest marks and maximum marks, I think. Okay. B. So why be the lowest marks obtained by the highest 10% of the student? Okay. So what we are doing actually in B part, we have obtained the, we just see this middle actually, we want this is 10 and this is 90. Okay. So lowest 10% we have obtained maximum marks. So these marks we have calculated in B. Now for this part, we are finding lowest marks obtained by the highest 10%. Okay. And therefore, we have the two limits now. This one. So this is B part, this is C part. We have calculated this in C part, and therefore the answer will be this. Okay. So this is I think enough for this normal distribution. Then we have, if you have any doubt or any questions, you can ask me.
Sir, we want to stop here or we have some more thing to cover today?
Let me see what we have. This is normal. No, this distributions. Okay. So the linear combinations we have seen of random variables. Okay, but these are for so next we will do next time, but let me give you what we are going to do here. So linear combinations of normal random variables. So that we have seen. Okay. Almost we have seen. In fact, for general random variable we have seen. Okay. So specifically we'll see if the random variables are normal, then their linear behavior of linear combinations. Okay. Whether they are also normal or and if they are normal, then what are the mean and standard deviations? Okay. Then approximating distributions with the normal distribution. For example, we can approximate binomial distribution with normal distribution. So if we approximate binomial distribution, then what we have to do here, what we have to that we have to see. The last topics in this is distributions are related to the normal distribution. So here we will see this chi distribution, T distribution, F distributions, other things.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Chi, T, and F are very important, sir, in linear regression only.
Yeah, yeah. In linear also, in hypothesis, because all these and confidence interval also. So we used all these distributions, T, chi, F. T is mostly used.
Yeah, T and F distribution are directly used in multi-linear regression, sir. Multivariable linear regression.
So these we'll see. Okay. Okay. So this is just a generalization. I think not a difficult thing. Okay, then